So this is like a pink Cryptocoryne. Super beautiful. Balazs's tank was really nice. It just had a bit too much hardscape for my opinion. What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Today's video is gonna be a good one. I can feel it. Really excited for this one. We're gonna be setting up a new tank. A little bit unusual, but it's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time already. So this is the tank that we're going to be scaping today. This is a 35 liter Scapers tank from Dennerle. I'll put all the measurements on the screen right here. Yeah, I really like these tanks. This is the one with the rounded corners. Nice SOx mark. Not everybody likes these rounded corners, but I quite like it. I have 4 of these tanks now. We have the 10 liter cube here with the rounded corners, the 20 liter cube, and this is number 3, the 70 liter Scapers tank, also with the rounded corners. And there's a little hint of today's video. So this used to be my low-tech tank for my betta Sammy. Unfortunately, Sammy passed away about a month ago due to fin rot issues. A lot of you guys commented and gave me some good tips of how to treat fin rot issues in the future. So I really appreciate that. So I was quite sad that we lost Sammy, but there's nothing we can do about that anymore. And I guess the best way we can get over losing him is by making something beautiful out of his old tank. So I have a really cool idea for this tank. It's something that I wanted to do for a long time already, and that is a Red Plants Only scape. So like 5 or 6 years ago, when I just started aquascaping, there was this trend going on social media with a Red Plants Only Aquascape. I think that trend was brought to life by a woman from Denmark, because they used to call this the Danish style aquascape. Ever since I saw that, I really wanted to recreate something like that myself. I just never got around to do it. But then like a few months ago, there was a video on the Green Aqua YouTube channel where Balazs made a Red Plants Only Aquascape. And that made me remember it again and made me want to do it also. Balazs's tank was really nice. It just had a bit too much hardscape for my opinion. So today we're going to make a no hardscape Red Plants Only Aquascape, if that makes sense. A Red Plant Only Danish Dutch style aquascape, I guess. Let's just go. So the first thing I want to do to this tank is add a background. I usually go for the frosty, milky type background like I have in the big shallow. But with this one, I think I want to go for a black background. I think they will be really nice with the red plants. Alright, so loads of reflections, but I'm already digging the black background. Reflections will be gone once we add some water to this tank. Next up is to install the light. So on the previous setup, I had this light. This is a Trocal LED from Dennerle as well. It's actually a really good light. I was even getting some purling action without CO2, so I think that's a good thing. But there's a problem. So this tank is quite deep. It's more than 30 centimeters deep, and the light sits quite close to the water surface. So the background plants, once they get quite tall, they're not going to have too much light anymore because the light doesn't spread that much, you know. So we need a light that sits a little bit higher on the glass. So I still have the Gyros WRGB2 Slim. I think that will be a nice light for this tank. Also it's RGB, so it should be nice with the red plants as well. Right, that's the light on, looking really good. It did bring out all the stripes in the background foil. I believe that's just moisture and it should go away by itself. If it doesn't, I can always take it off and I'll just paint it black or something. Okay, so we're almost ready for planting. The next thing we need is of course substrate. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably already guessed it. We're going to use aqua soil. So I use aqua soil in pretty much all my tanks now. And yeah, it's a bit more expensive, but I just really like the results that I'm getting with this stuff. Ever since I started using aqua soil, my plants just look a lot better, a lot healthier, they grow a lot faster. So I also spend a little bit more money and get a good quality aqua soil. There's a lot of difference in brands though. This one is from AQUARIUM, this is the NEO Soil. I really like this one. It's packed full of nutrients. It's very similar to 88 Amazonia or Tropica soil. If you don't want to spend that much money on your substrate, I get it. And then just buy cheap gravel and just buy some root taps. Root taps are cheap. And just stick a lot of root taps in your substrate just to provide your plant roots with a lot of nutrients. Okay, that's the substrate in. I used quite a lot. I think it's about 6 liters in here. Like I said, there's going to be only plants in this tank, so I want to give them plenty of space to root, plenty of nutrients as well, so a nice thick layer of soil. Yeah, let's take a look at what plants we're going to use for this Red Plant Only Scape. Okay, so I just quickly prepared all the plants and I took all the plant labels and placed them in the aquarium just to make sort of like a planting map. And this really helps me to get a bit of a more visual idea of where I want to plant them and how it's going to look in a few weeks from now, you know. So as you can see, all the plant labels are from Dennerle. So all the plants for this layout are sponsored by Dennerle Plants. For a while now I've been getting all my plants from them. Super happy about that, and I'm really grateful that they sponsor the channel. So thank you, Dennerle Plants. I will leave their website in the description box below. Definitely check that out. So all of these plants are basically red plants. Some of them are still green, they need to become red. You'll see in a minute. But the star of the show is definitely this one, the crypt species Flamingo. Let me show you. So this is like a pink Cryptocoryne. Super beautiful. I really hope it will do well in this aquascape. I bought it once before, a long time ago, as an in-vitro pot, and that one melted away really quickly. So I hope this one will take on and will start growing really nice. As you can see, most plants are still green. They'll just need a few weeks to transform into the beautiful red that they will become. So let's start planting. Alright, so let's start with the crypt first. Give it the best spot in the aquarium, right in front. Okay, next plant that's going in is going to be the Alternanthera reineckii mini. This is a beautiful small red plant. It stays relatively short. I mean, there's not really a lot of red foreground plants, so yeah, we're a bit limited with options here, but I think the AR mini is a perfect choice here. I'm also going to plant some AR mini on the left side, just so it's a bit symmetrical. Okay, that's the first 2 plants in, the AR mini and the pink Flamingo, 1 pot of each. So the next plant is going to be the Hygrophila Araguaia. It's also a foreground plant, and as you can see, I've basically planted sort of in triangles, so like that, here also a triangle. So the Araguaia is going to be in between those empty spaces there. I've never actually planted in triangles, but I thought let's just try something new, see what kind of results that gives us. Okay, I still have a little bit of the Araguaia left, but I think that's enough. So now the triangles become a little bit more visible. I'm curious how this is going to work out. This is something I've seen on the YouTube channel of Yuri's Juchaves. He was also doing this technique, but on a much larger scale, and like I think a 2-meter aquarium or something. Next, we're going to switch to the mid-ground plants. For that, I have another Alternanthera. This is the reineckii Lila. So this is a bit more purplish than this one basically. And we also have, wait, let's remove the ones that we already planted. This one we planted, this one we planted. So another plant that I chose for the mid-ground is the Ludwigia glandulosa. Never tried this one before, so curious how that one will, how that one will grow and how it will look. Okay, Okay, so I was struggling a little bit to plant this one. My tweezers were losing grip basically. So I'm going to switch to a bigger pin set, just to have a bit more grip and just to be able to plant these a little bit deeper as well. Okay, we're making good progress. Before we continue, just a little spraying, just make sure the plants don't dry out. Okay, so we still have one empty spot in the mid-ground there for a plant. That is reserved for this plant right here. And this one is not from Dennerle. This one I actually bought myself. A little story here. This is, I'm a bit of a plant nerd, right? So this is a rare plant. I'm following Dennis Wong on social media. And if you don't know Dennis, he's the owner of APT Fertilizers. And he has a website called the 2-Hour Aquarist, full of really good information. And yeah, like a few months ago, he posted a picture of a really, really beautiful purple plant. And that is this one right here. This is Bacopa. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. I'll put the name on the screen. I was looking for this plant for a while and I finally found it. Should turn really, really beautiful. I'll put a picture on the screen right now so you can see what it's gonna look like. So we're gonna put that in right now. Okay, foreground and midground are done. Now we're moving on to the background where we have 3 types of red plants. We have the Rotala Hra, we have the Ludwigia species Super Red, and we have the Ludwigia arcuata. So I have them right here. So on the left we have the Ludwigia Super Red. In the middle we have the In-Vitro Ludwigia arcuata, so it's very, very small, but there's a lot of them. And we have the Rotala Hra right here. So with the Ludwigia Super Red and the Rotala Hra, I only have a few stems here, but that's okay because over here we have my 70-liter Scapers tank, which desperately needs a trim. And we have some beautiful stems of Rotala Hra as well as the Ludwigia in there as well. So we can trim those and plant those in our new aquascape as well. Okay, fast forward about 2.5 weeks since we planted this Red Plants Only Dutch style aquascape. The scape is doing really good, but it's not 100% red just yet. It's a bit of a bummer. I was hoping by the end of this video I could show you guys a fully red scape. But yeah, we just need a bit more time for that. So the 3 plants that are still somewhat green are the Rotala Hra, the Ludwigia arcuata, and the Bacopa salzmani. And those 3 plants, they just need very strong light to become red. And yeah, you know, the scape is still very new, so we can't really blast the lights on full power just yet. And also they need very low nitrates to become really red. And we have a fresh layer of aquasoil in here, which is releasing a lot of nutrients and also a lot of nitrates. So yeah, we're just gonna need a few more weeks before this scape will be completely red. And that's totally fine, you know, like it's nice to see the process as well. For example, with the Bacopa, the new leaves are starting to become a little bit purple, which is really exciting. And the Rotala Hra is also slowly starting to become orange now. And yeah, also the Ludwigia arcuata is starting to change color a little bit. So it's nice to see that transition happening. 2 plants in here are not really doing that well though. The first one is the Flamingo. A lot of it melted away, unfortunately. But there's a few left, and I think those they are gonna make it for sure. So I already see a few new leaves popping up, so hopefully they will survive. And the other plant is the Ludwigia glandulosa. Also not really looking that good. A lot of the leaves are like curling down, so I don't think that one is gonna make it. So we might have to replace it with something else. So if you guys have a good idea about a replacement for that plant, let me know in the comments. I mean, it doesn't have to be red. I mean, it can also be maybe like brown or like copper or something like that. Maybe a little bit orange is also good. So if you guys have a nice suggestion, let me know in the comments. Since about 1 week, I've added a second light to the scape. So right now we're running two Chihiro's WRGB Slims on here. Yeah, I just felt like one was not really powerful enough, and also like the spread, the coverage of the entire tank was just not good. Like in the background, some plants were just not getting enough light, and also in the front I was starting to see some shadow. So I've added the second light, and now we have almost the entire surface area of the aquarium is now fully lit up. Both of them are still on 70%, so we can still increase the intensity. And I will like increase the intensity by 10% every week from now on or so. So within 3 weeks we should really have a very powerful and brightly lit Dutch style aquascape. Technically I could cheat a little bit, because with these Chihiro's lights you can like change the colors individually. So right now I have the blue, the reds and the greens all at the same percentage, all at 70%. But I could like increase the reds a little bit more, so that would sort of look like this. So right now we have green on 60%, blue on 60% and red is on 100% on both lights. So I think the camera is not really picking it up like I see it right here. But to me it looks a little bit fake, you know? Like of course the red plants look very good right now, but it just looks a little bit fake. So I think I'm just gonna keep it the way it was, every color at the same percentage. I think that looks the most natural. Of course there's still one thing that we need to figure out, and that is what we're gonna put in this cape. So I was thinking actually to not put any fish at all, and maybe just some really nice colorful shrimp. But I'm not 100% certain on that yet. Another idea that I had was maybe if you have only red plants, to put a green fish, like the green neon rasbora. I think that's the one, rasbora kubotai. I think that would look nice as well. So I'm curious what you guys think, so let me know in the comments if you have any nice suggestions. I'm gonna end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done this yet. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.